Good afternoon and evening plus morning. Obedience worldwide. I greet all of you. Wherever on a day, may the Lord be with you all. Today we don't enter another session. In the morning time, we've been come explain some certain things where we digest with Dr. Etel. And this evening we say we go bring another thing again where we say it happen, because as it happen, we no go close our mouths. Whenever we see them they happen, we go talk them. And waiting we won't bring now come, now waiting they happen for IReV. If I don't say throughout the last 2 weeks, we just they bring evidence from IReV where we say INEC don't certify, they carry come tribunal, then they accept them as evidence. But now waiting they happen be say INEC don't begin they block IReV. Not be even to block, then they call them say access denied. Now the thing begin they worry me. I begin they think and once mood don't begin in action, in fraudulent actions again. How elections where we say just hold for 3 months ago, now the results where we they see before, we they compare them. Nine in don't begin they block everybody to the CM. Well, it gets one of our person where tweet about the thing, the way it take put them, make I for talk as he take put them, and producer if he put them for screen. The person distinguished field marshal, the General Oluchi, and I won't quote her tweet. She said, I would very much like to know what the tribunal judges will say about evidence tampering. When Dr. Levi Uzoku complained about INEC's delay tactics, they shouted him down and advised him to work together or file an application to punish INEC. Let's see how they will handle this issue when our legal team informs them about it. The main reason they blocked that Amazon S3 bucket is to avoid third-party analysts from seeing what they did on IReV. If they tell the judges that there was a glitch, no one will know the truth. So my people, I say make we bring this one. Many other things where we go discuss here. And the person where they join me to discuss these things, NJ there with me for studio and Dr. Tebbat there for Zoom. Now, the other thing we go discuss now about this very forfeiture, because Supreme Court gets judgment about forfeiture where happen. Before we get to that, Angel, greet our people.
My fabulous and gorgeous meaning Nigerians, my obedient family, welcome back. Thank you for being with us. Just relax, because wahala plenty for INEC man's head. INEC chairman, he never see anything. He choke. He go choke until he die. He never see anything. He's messing with the wrong generation. I better relax. We get on now. Chillax, we did there.
Okay, thank you, Angel. Dr. Etel. Starting with this thing where they happen for IReV, I get another of our person, Onyeka from Canada, that IT experts, as we get matters where concern IReV and waiting then they call Amazon S3 buckets. Me, I don't know what that one mean, but I know say then they tamper with evidence, because as we don't carry IReV, those documents go court, now evidence them be. So whether they know what make we do the comparison where we won't do, I don't know. But as Onyeka there, may I first reach Onyeka, make you tell us what in Amazon S3 bucket mean. Onyeka, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Please speak up. Let's tell us what they mean by Amazon S3 buckets.
Well, Amazon S3 bucket is a storage device, and on that day, I think what they did was that he hosted the election. That's where all the results were supposed to go in. And in this Amazon S3 bucket, when INEC paid for it for them to host the presidential election, the Amazon S3 bucket was supposed to host it, make sure that this information are not tampered by the public, except them that can change any information there. So when any information enter in that S3 bucket, it can be changed. You can't mutilate it. So as I put it to you right now, S3 bucket is a storage device that can store all the uploaded results from the polling unit when they are being uploaded. So that is what the S3 bucket is done. And it has a security that can encrypt it, that will make it impossible for unknown person, anyone who doesn't have access to it, to tamper with those results. So that is what the S3 bucket does.
Okay. So now, the other thing when I want to ask you, if somebody go IReV now, you go they tell and say no access, blocked, and all that, even from the front end. So wetin that one mean? Because people know they fit view the results again. Before we they view them and we they bring them out, and after we don't submit them as evidence for court, if you go there, not be only say asset denied, before na asset denied, but now then they put them, they say this thing is blocked. Our producer, I beg, make you show that make them they see them. So different places, if I look the screen now, you go see the place, the word and everything, the date even is created. They will say all access disabled. This object, all access disabled. Wetin that one mean as you be IT expert? Tell us wetin INEC don dey plan again. They no wan make we dey see the result again. Abi dem don, because this site wey we do na our money, na our taxpayers' money. Now it's telling us all access disabled. All access disabled. Tell us what it means.
He removed the access so that people will not have access to it. So when it means that all access disabled, the functionality mode and access cannot be determined. So he removed the access to that IReV so that people cannot have access to go and check the information they are checking. He removed this either by switching off the server or by changing the password, so that when he changed it, nobody can have access to it. So that is what he has done so far now.
Okay, thank you very much. At least now we don't hear from experts where talk say INEC through then don't block citizens from viewing the portal where Mahmood Yakubu talk say we go see for real time. Even when we no see them for real time, and don't they block us from seeing it. Anyway, we don't hear from the person where they everything where they there. We stay they watch them. When we come back for tribunal, we go tell tribunal whether na evidence in don't tamper with, we no know. Na the one where they caught, we go compare them. Now, Dr. Etel, make I move away from IReV, make I enter waiting they happen for Supreme Court. You get one story where would they hear?
Enter Supreme Court, we'll still the appeal court. You get something when I get for this appeal court, IReV section that you discussed. I am happy that Labour Party and their team of lawyers are always a step ahead of the supposedly criminal tendencies of INEC and their manipulation. Why I say this is because after Labour Party have and their lawyers have closed their case, and after INEC have reluctantly certified copies of results, EC8A results, and handed it over to Labour Party, which is what they got from the IReV, the blood results, the mutilated result, the T-PEXT result, the mangled and mutilated result. They certified it as, and then handed it over to Labour Party. And Labour Party have tendered it as evidence. And the court graciously admitted it as evidence. You know what they did? What they did was to say, we have given you people the gold standard results. Any other thing you bring that is not equal to this one with stamp is imitation. INEC has released blank papers as a result. They have stamped pictures of people in their bathroom as a result. They have certified vehicles that was uploaded as a result. And they shamelessly gave it to Labour Party. Labour Party tendered it into the court. The court admitted it as evidence. This was what had been on IReV since February. We are now in June. Unknown to them that they have committed themselves, they gave it to Labour Party. Now they have blocked access. That in itself is a breach of the Electoral Act, because the INEC chairman himself, when boasting before the election, said that even the Anambra state election that was done last year, even the Osun state election, that if we go online, we could still see it any day. That was the intention. Now they are blocking the presidential. I don't know if other elections are being blocked. That is to tell us that INEC has ulterior motive. But unknown to them, they are lagging behind. Because if they come tomorrow to court to defend this election and bring a clean EC8A result, that is not what they certified. They are the people who forged a document. Because the original that came from them as the only authority that can certify a result was blank. If they bring any result that is clean, that anybody can see, it is INEC that will now be charged for perjury because they are forging documents. Wherever they forged it from, we don't know. So whatever they are doing there is their business. Yesterday, we mentioned that INEC is already forcing on the news making the rounds that a senatorial candidate who is currently sitting as a senator, former governor of Ebonyi State, that what he tendered to Election Petition Tribunal is a falsified beavers record. That same beavers was the same beavers that accredited people for presidency. So we are now picking two. By the testimony of two or three, a case is established. It is easy for us to agree now that INEC is doctoring beavers record to match what they declared, one, and they are blocking the public access to see the result because there is something they want to do with the result. They will come to court to tender as the clean as the result they declared. But unfortunately for them, they cannot bring any other result that is not exactly what they have certified, because the word certified true copy means this is the original that I have. I have given you the photocopy, my photocopy of what I have. INEC, whether you like it or not, you don't have any other result other than the one you have certified. Whatever you want to do, even if INEC wants to crash IReV today, it is immaterial. It is now late because the court has what they call their own result. I just wanted to point this out. Okay. So they have shot themselves in the leg again.
Yes, as you point them out, they're very okay. INEC, as they disable the IReV of all the states and many other locations, it's very, very clear that the Mahmood is cooking another fraud against the Nigerian people. That one, they're clear. And somebody also pointed out on a tweet, I think Jackson Ude pointed out, in his own opinion, he said, from the proceedings at the Presidential Election Tribunal, it is now safe to say that INEC, headed by Mahmood Yakubu, is a criminal organization. INEC headquarters is a crime scene. Yakubu and all those who conducted the 2023 election should be prosecuted and jailed. I will agree with him. Now, INEC headquarters has become a crime scene because like what we discussed yesterday about that forged certificates coming out from beavers and all of that, that they have a cartel in there that does it. They have big houses that those people has built if they want to verify. Now, most people who work in INEC, they build big houses that are worth billions. Go and verify. That is what is in vogue. Investigate the people working on INEC if you doubt. Anyway, we have so many other things, but the one when I won't go through now, the one of Supreme Court. But first, let me tackle this one that is on the screen, Attorney General of Luton. Now, this is Red Cat Blondie that tweeted this. The former Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, has been accused of embezzling millions of dollars and using a significant portion of the stolen funds to acquire hotels. Malami is also known to own Jam Valley Hotel and Resort in Kebbi, Abuja, Katsina, and Kanu. It is alleged that Malami's net worth exceeds 500 billion, primarily amassed through illicit means and concealed in various locations, including his homes, with the help of proxies and family members. Now, so Red Cap Blondie take talk am. So we will see our people are then go to tweet, you go think saying a joke. But why would they bring these things, make we come out, make we see, say, even as we want a new Nigeria that is possible, we try to expose corrupt government official, because really it is about Nigerian. Anyway, let's get to the other part of our talk before time begin give us signal. And that very talk has to deal with what the Supreme Court ruled in 2014. When we are talking about $460,000 for forfeiture of drug money to the US government. Now, this also Ms. Pills also tweeted this, that in 2014, the Nigerian Supreme Court ruled that forfeiture means the loss of rights, property, or privilege because of a crime. Tinubu forfeited $460,000 of drug money to the US government. Now, I will end it there. Now, what I want Dr. Etel for you to look into is what the Supreme Court said on a particular case in that 2014. I know that the Chief Justice of this Federation has at that time adopted that very judgment, meaning he's there at that very Supreme Court. And again, many of the Supreme Court justices that were there as at that time were still very much in now. And it's the same Supreme Court that says that if there is any forfeiture, then crime is involved. Dishonesty is involved. Please tell us more about this very case so that our people will understand why it is important that that very $460,000 that was forfeited in US means a lot.
This judgment, I am glad, was actually delivered on the 17th day of January 2014. It was a case between Mohammed Abacha versus Federal Republic of Nigeria. The justices of the Supreme Court that handled the case were Walter Kanu Onogen, former Chief Justice of the Federation, Malam Said, I can't remember how to pronounce all of them, but one of them again, the lead person who delivered the judgment was Justice of the Supreme Court Olukayode Ariwola. He was just a Justice of the Supreme Court then. Today, he is the Chief Justice of the Federation. And I like the day he was talking about how he will head the judiciary, especially the Supreme Court. He says he's going to do Nigeria proud. He will not let us down. So I believe that his values and the judgment he has delivered before will come to play now. He delivered the judgment, and I'm going to read what Justice Olukayode Ariwola said on that day. He says, Ariwola's ruling read, the whole purpose of this ad hominem legislation, that is the law, as clearly stated in section 1 of the decree, was to recover from the person named therein properties and monies acquired corruptly and illegally by them. Bearing in mind that in interpreting a statute, the court must avoid absurdity, it is necessary to juxtapose the term forfeiture with indemnity to ascertain the intention of the lawmaker. Now, Justice Ariwola further expanded on the meaning of forfeiture. He says, it is divestiture of property without compensation. Forfeiture also means, according to Justice Ariwola, who is now the Chief Justice of the Federation, the loss of a right, privilege, or property because of a crime, breach of obligation, or neglect of duty. It goes on to say, title is instantaneously transferred to another, such as to the government, a corporation, or a private person. Therefore, forfeiture connotes punishment for a crime committed, and its effect is instantaneous. Now, it goes on again to say, a duty to make good any loss. That is what was happening. A damage or liability incurred by another. The right of an injured party, maybe a country or a person or organization, to claim reimbursement for its loss, damage, or liability from a person who has such a duty. Indemnity and forfeiture are clearly diametrically opposed to one another. A person who has forfeited property on the basis of a crime cannot be entitled to indemnity. Forfeiture is a form of punishment. Therefore, there is no indemnity in our criminal procedure. That is what Justice Ariwola Olukayode said then in his judgment. That was when he was just ordinary member of the Supreme Court. Today, he is the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. It is him who will appoint the judges of the Supreme Court. In fact, as a presidential election, a tribunal is concerned, he will chair the presidential election that will come to him. And I know that he will remember this. And let me also say something about says, like during the cross-examination, you remember that APC had interrogated, cross-examined the witness of, I think both the witness of Labour Party and that of PDP, saying, are you aware that this thing you're referring to is more than 10 years? Now, the reason why he said it is because of our constitution, section 137 of the Nigerian constitution, subsection 1E says that within a period of less than 10 years before the date of election to the office of the president, a person has been convicted and sentenced for an offense involving dishonesty, or he has been found guilty of the contravention of the code of conduct. I need to draw our attention to the fact that if you go to section 137 of 1999 constitution, subsection 1 has A, B, C, D, E, F. And that A, B, C, D, E, F, one of them is good enough to disqualify somebody. If you commit all 9 of them, it is equal to disqualification. If you commit one of them, it is equal to disqualification. If you commit 2 of them, it is equal to disqualification. And now let me take us to section 137 1D. 1D says that person can be disqualified if he is under a sentence of death imposed by any competent court of law or tribunal in Nigeria, or a sentence of imprisonment for a fine for any offense involving dishonesty or fraud by whatever name called, or for any offense imposed on him by any court or tribunal or substituted by a competent authority for any other sentence imposed on him by such a court or tribunal. Now, if you look at it, you see that there are issues that can say, oh, this did not happen in Nigeria, because you could remember that the lawyers of APC was trying to, the lawyers that is representing Tinubu was trying to say, was this thing in Nigeria? No. If you read this place, it's saying, it specified the one that could happen in Nigeria. Sentence of death imposed by any court of law or tribunal in Nigeria, or a sentence of imprisonment or fine for any offense involving dishonesty or fraud, or for any other offense imposed on him by any court. It's no longer limited to Nigerian courts. It is no longer limited to Nigerian courts. And this is not to say that section that 1E now cancels the effect of 1D, because after that, in the 1D, if you have read the Constitution, there is a semicolon that demarcated 1D from 1E. 1E is standing on its own. 1D is standing on its own. 1C is standing on its own. When they finish 1A, there is a semicolon before the or. When they finish 1B, there is a semicolon before the or, meaning either this or that, or both of them. In fact, if you come to verse, this is not the Bible, this is Constitution. It's to 1J. 1J says, he has presented a forged certificate to Independent National Electoral Commission. And I want to use the 1J to buttress something here. If 1E cancels the effect of 1D, it means that anyone there can cancel the effect of all. But we do know that 1J has a prayer by its own self, forgery of certificates. And so 1D is a forfeiture that was done in a court of competent jurisdiction in America. But 1E is talking about Code of Conduct Tribunal, or code of, or whatever we call it in Nigeria. So there is a demarcation between 1A and 1B and 1C and 1D. Each of them are standing independently. The effect of 1E cannot cancel 1D, and the effect of 1J cannot cancel 1I. If you fail in any the case of Labour Party is hinged on 1D and 1J. 1D is dealing with the forfeiture in America, and 1J is talking about forgery of certificates. 1E is talking about maybe something somebody committed when he was in the office. It's not our concern. We have seen 2 out of the 9, and that 2 is what we're pursuing. I think it would be nice for us to understand it that way. Thank you.
Yes, yes, very well understood, Doctor, and thank you for doing justice to that matter, because some people really no understand how the thing they go. When we talk about that particular forfeiture, they do not understand that our Supreme Court has previously held that it means a crime has been committed somewhere, and there's a punishment for it. Okay, so I want us to look at that very particular thing that says that Tinubu is added. There is a witness from PDP that said it anyway. I just want you to look at it again. Tinubu's witness said that Tinubu identified himself as a woman while seeking U.S. admission. That while he was seeking U.S. admission, he identified himself as a woman. That is F, that identifies as female. Does this also count? Because I think that is where the Adekunle comes in, aside of the one where come out from NYC certificate. Dr. Tell.
If you say when he was seeking for admission, it's funny. Because all I know is that we are dealing with facts here. We are not trying to impugn anything on anybody. Based on certified true copies of what INEC gave the witness. And the document through subpoena and notary public in America that the university, if you graduate in Nigeria, before you get admission in Nigeria, you must have your JAMB result and you must have either your NECO or WAEC results. Now, what it means is that I still have my WAEC result. I didn't write NECO. And in my WAEC result, my gender is written F. I'm sorry, it's written M, which is male. I am male. I am male. My gender is written M. And what it means is that if somebody walks into the classroom one day and find out that there is someone who is no longer a male bearing my name, suspicion will come in there. Now, the minimum entry requirement of any university is always stated. And what the witness produced shows that the document of a college that granted admission to a name, Bola A. Tinubu, that person happens to be a female. But we don't know that person. And then, but the person who graduated happens to be a male. It's confusing. And then again, the person who graduated bears the name Bola A, and we know the name as Ahmed. But the person who also bears the name Ahmed, we were told that in 1999, submitted NYSC discharge certificate to INEC, where the name is Bola Adekunle Tinubu. Now, as I keep saying, since when did the person, today, in the world of today, in the work world of today, we have transgenders. When people change, people go, medically speaking, they do surgery, they convert themselves from male to female and female to male. I don't know if that was obtainable then. I do not know. But even if it does, there should be statistics that shows, record that shows that there was a time a gender changed. So these are inconsistencies. And why I am pointing these inconsistencies is that even this witness, INEC has shown again that there is an NYSC exemption letter. One person cannot have both a discharge certificate and the exemption letter. And one person cannot gain admission in a university as a female and if you finish your youth service before you're 30. And one person cannot even get exemption. Peradventure, you graduated after 30. When the law that authorized Nigerian NYSC to issue exemption letter started in 1985. And the person we are talking about supposedly graduated in 1979. What is the implication of all this? We go back to Supreme Court judgment. David Loin of APC in January 2020 was rehearsing in Bayelsa State, getting ready to be sworn in as the governor-elect of Bayelsa State, when the Supreme Court of Federal Republic of Nigeria dropped a hammer on him. And what was the issue? His deputy. What is on first school living certificate is not what is they found in SSCE. What they found in SSCE is also different from what is found in the degree certificate. Every now and then there is one affidavit of change of name or affidavit of correction of name. After the Supreme Court finished looking at it, they say, you know what? This person has a questionable history. They slammed the hammer and they disqualified him. And because they disqualified him as the deputy governor, the governor himself lost his position because it was a joint ticket. I am also hoping that the Supreme Court is going to come to tell us how are they going to deal with all this inconsistency from minimum entry requirement of female that later became a male. And then when Adekunle that changed to Ahmed, we don't know when Adekunle changed to Ahmed. We don't know why someone should graduate at either 27 or 29, depending on the age that the person finally chose, because there are two conflicting ages. There is one that said 1954, and the other one said 1952. Either way, the person must have graduated either at 27 years or 29 years. Both of them qualifies the person to serve in NYSC. Now, the person said he served and did NYSC in Nigeria 1983. 1983, Biarin Adekunle, when you are submitting your details to NYSC, one of the requirements they ask you to bring is a copy of your degree certificate or your HND, and then your call-up paper, which means the name that is on your degree certificate is exactly the name that will appear in your NYSC. So why is it that the name that is on the degree certificate is different from the so-called NYSC of 1983? And if indeed there was NYSC in 1983, why the need for exemption certificate? And even if there is an exemption certificate, how come the exemption certificate was issued before the law authorizing exemption existed in Nigeria? This whole thing is a confusion. And like Sam Amadi tweeted, oh, the judiciary is on trial, because how they wriggle out of this, Nigerians are watching.
Okay, Dr. Tel, I hear you and I feel you. Recall that this very particular certificate in 1999, Tinubu submitted a certificate that he went to NYSC. He submitted, he's still with INEC. We showed that yesterday. Then in 2023, he forgot about that very one and submitted an exemption letter. So which means he has gone to, by 1999, which he has this thing from NYSC that say he went there. And then in 2023, he is exempted from going there. Well, we see, don't they look? The judiciary, they are on trial. We are all watching. Before we go, because our time don't they give us signal, make we
99 Constitution, Section 137, subsection 1D and 1J. It is on these two subsections 1D and 1J that we are calling for the disqualification of this.
Go ahead.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. The section 1D is talking about that person is disqualified if he is under a sentence of imprisonment or fine for any offense involving dishonesty or fraud by whatever name it is called, or for any offense imposed on him by any court or tribunal or substituted by a competent authority for any other sentence imposed on him by such a court or tribunal. It does not matter any part of the world where this happens, as long as it is competent in that jurisdiction. That is 1D. And this relates to 460,000 forfeiture. But subsection 1J says, if a person presents any forged certificate, disqualified. So our prayer is on 137 subsection 1D and J. There are 9 of them, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Of them, you failed there, disqualifies you. And we have found 2 that he failed here. So if one can disqualify you, there is hope for us because we have 2 on our side. Thank you.
Our time, don't they give us signal? Signal make we begin the pack come up for studio. Before we do, we get our Jubrin over son, that P2B lawyer. He gets the one talk where he talk for tweet when I want Nigerians to also see, because the man, they talk through most of the time. If you want talk, as lawyers they now, they know fit talk anyhow because then they tribunal. So if they get something where they won't do mui for their mouth, then just go Twitter, go drop something, make Nigerians know how their mind be. So he says something that Nigeria has potentials to be great. It is Nigerians that have not yet agreed to make Nigeria great. The damages done to Nigeria and still being done can be remedied by Nigerians when we decide to do what is right. All Nigerians must have strength of courage to do what is right. When they hear them, Nigeria cannot be great when we developed arid legal technicalities and jargon to retain in power those who have no moral integrity to be in leadership. Examples abound. How bad decisions of our courts have inflicted social, political, and economic injuries on our people. We cannot pretend that all is well with us. We must watch our words with action, or we must match our words with action. No nation will take us serious when we do when all we do is talking and talking without corresponding action. Each government that comes to power always pretends to hate corruption, but no action to fight it. As a matter of fact, each time judicial oaths are being administered to judicial officers, we hear beautiful and nice things about justice and how it should be served in its purest of forms. But do we see such justice in practical terms? We are just preachers and not doers. Sad. Given the stories we hear daily, Nigeria as a nation with heavenly facilities is yet to have those who have the purity of heart and love of the people to superintend over its affairs for the good of all. The level of selfish manipulations for looting is amazing. Everyone in position looks pure and pious, but most are dangerous in action and decisions. That is our bane. Nothing is done right in most cases. Decisions in most cases are rendered on predetermined selfish reasons to sustain bad leadership. Most political actors lacked courage. Oh, be small. Be an angel. I beg, make you help me wrap up. I beg.
My obedient, beautiful people. INEC Chairman Yakubu, Mahmood, and APC. They don't they show us. The more you look, the less you see. Now, waiting they show us with that. But my people, una don't ask on ourselves, why did INEC Chairman block IReV portal? Because they are cooking scam. They don't do the first one, announce Tinubu for middle of the night. You know, do them. We enter IReV portals, bring all the nyama where they put there, both the one where they TPS, both the one where they block, all, we bring and come out. They run, go block them. Access deny, this one deny, everything deny. No problem. God did. He don't hook them. He choke. They don't know, say, they are messing with the wrong generation. Because this generation where we dey now, they sleep and wake up for internet. They don't know. Before they even do something, this generation now, Nigerians don't even go get the answer, keep. They wait for them. No problem. Shebina next week, how many days remain? God go keep us alive. We go get, you see this defense, he go tire them. As Dr. Tell say, make the kukuma buy new ACO, because for that place, he go choke them die. Some of them go even faint. Some go slump, because to defend lie for blood daylight, it hard. But no problem. Our PO, Miracle Day, he don't talk, he believe in miracle. He have faith for judiciary. Now make our judges for tribunal do the right thing. Justice and fairness. Now it be the only thing where we want. We don't ask for too much. Just justice and fairness. Waiting be our own. My people, thank you so much for staying with us, even in the morning and this evening. Thank you. I appreciate you people a lot. God bless you. Dr. Tell, now God bless you. Our IT person, Onyi, God bless you. Thank you so many. Thank you, my people. I cannot thank you enough. My dears, click, like, share, If you watch finish, you no click, you no like. How about now? Click, like, and share. Thank you so much for being with us. Till tomorrow, we'll see you again. Be good. Bye for now.